nerds, welcome to Jerry Berry Acts. Today, we're going to react to Fire is Catching by Killer Queen with 45,000 subscribers, posted 3 years ago with 4.5 thousand views. This is a runtime of 6.5 minutes. I don't know what this is from. I want to look at the description box, but I think I'm just going to wait to see because my opening screen here is black. Fire is Catching, maybe Hunger Games. I don't know. Whatever it is, we'll watch it. We'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk throughout. If you want to watch it uninterrupted, a link will be in the description box down below to their channel and the original video. Go check it out and support them if you enjoy. And yeah, we'll just go from there.
I have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad.
Things are horrible.
The world's just really fucking ugly, you know?
Oh, it's a multi-fandom.
Fucking ugly, and love. Everybody seems to be okay with it, you know?
It's a depression.
Yeah.
We're living in dark times. Not a lot of hope out there.
What is it about society that disappoints you so much?
Fucking everything.
Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. You're fired. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it.
It feels like all our heroes are counterfeit. The world itself is just one big hoax.
Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park.
Yeah.
This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube, you eat like the tube, you raise your children like the tube, you even think like the tube. This is mass madness. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell.
Outside the
Yo, what was that movie from? I don't want to see that shit. He didn't lie. People base their whole personalities, they place their whole characteristics around what they see on television and in TVs and in movies and in videos on the internet, etc., etc. He's not lying. Like, you dress the way you see them dress. You eat the way you see them eat. You raise your kids the way you see them raise your kids. You talk the way that they talk. Why? For what reason? What's wrong with unapologetically just being you? I can understand, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not, there's could be negatives pulled from that. No, the TV was a beautiful invention. Internet is a mind-blowing invention when you sit and think about it. A cell phone's a mind-blowing invention. The fact you have all the knowledge that you could ever possibly want, a thumb tap away, index finger tap away, depending on your age, you're so close to being able to know whatever it is you want to know. And that's pretty crazy. It's a very, very wild concept. But you can understand the mass hysteria around when the television first came out, because it's, I mean, at one point, families gathered around and listened to the radio, and they heard these stories, and that's why they had the fake alien invasion, right? Like, that shit happened. But you gotta, I don't know. I'm gonna let the rest of it. I understand the mass hysteria and the upset of, oh shit, like this is now showing people, these celebrities, and the people are put under a spotlight, and I can get why somebody at that time period would be upset, for sure. You're idolizing, you're worshiping people through a box on a stand.
quarantine zone, a new airborne pathogen has killed 27 people.
Authorities are attempting to control its deadly spread.
You think people will buy this?
Why not? This is the BTN.
You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here.
Our job is to report the news, not fabricate it. That's the government's job.
Authorities have uncovered new evidence.
Good evening, London.
Stay indoors and stay off the streets.
There is no democracy. We no longer live in a world of nations and ideologies, Mr. Beale. The world is a college of corporations, inexorably determined by the immutable bylaws of business.
You're being added to a collection of puppets. This is a childish conspiracy. Childish.
It's a nation of some
The same, Lee.
200-odd million transistorized, deodorized, whiter than white, steel-belted bodies, totally unnecessary as human beings. and as replaceable as piston rods.
The world is a business, Mr. Beale.
World is 100% a business.
Calm down, everyone.
Tell people about this.
Pontypool's under quarantine. Everybody has to stay inside at all times.
Time to grow up. There are no gods. Our closest deities are a society of the richest, most influential men in existence. Men who fuck over the rest
It's
of
not
us
Sam
for
Lake, by the
profit, for fun, and then leave us in the streets for dead.
People need to know. We have to get this out.
There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. Why? Because while the tension may be used in lieu of conversation,
Yeah, they like it better when people are quiet.
will always retain their power.
We are a society.
Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there?
We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy.
Just sit there and take it like
Good little boys and girls.
that we will werewolf
Yep.
and go wild.
Ugh.
Somos la resistencia, ¿no?
You can torture us. And bomb us. But do you see that?
I forgot about the little kid in Les Mis for 5 minutes. Damn. Fire is catching. That's why I was thinking it was the Hunger Games in the first place. Fire is catching, bro. Catching fire.
And if we burn, you burn with us.
Goddamn right, son.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
We are finally free. We are finally alive.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. I'm really astonishingly shocked that this doesn't have more views. I'm astonished this doesn't have more views because 4,400 views in 2 years with something as powerful and as well put together as that is a bit of a crime. This feels like something that would have millions of views and spark a lot of big conversations, but it's clearly obvious why it doesn't, because it's more of people rising up against oppressive governments and changes in the world, et cetera, et cetera. And it is something that's very, very real. The government should be more afraid of their people, but it's not the way that it is. We're more afraid of them in this day and age. I mean, especially now. It's just everything's really expensive. Housing prices are through the roof. Interest rates are through the roof. Gas is going up and up. Groceries are expensive. It's just a post-pandemic world where everything is spiked through the roof, and I don't see it getting better anytime soon. No matter what promises whoever wants to be the leader of this country wants to say, those promises very rarely ever come true, and most of them are just built to get a vote, and it's a lot. It's an absolute shit show. It's a very beautiful, thought-provoking video that I feel like could have hours spent talking about each individual frame and the movies they came from, but then also the points that they're making. Like, you see people scared and worried and beaten and battered, and I think a lot of people, especially here in America, man, feel pretty beaten and battered post-pandemic. Everything feels like it's time's moving really quickly. Everything feels shitty. There's not a lot of joy in the day-to-day. It's kind of, there's a monotonous feeling that people have, where if you look even before the pandemic, 2020 and prior, it wasn't like it was miserable. It wasn't great. It's still a joke that 2016 was like, Drake had that, summer 2016 song or whatever. I was like, yeah, 2016 was dope. 2013 was dope. And then you look back and it was like, yeah, man, there's some really good times that were had. And sure, it can be built in nostalgia, but if you look back just like 2022, 2021, and it's like, I mean, we did some great shit. We did a lot of fun stuff, but it's like, man, the day-to-day doesn't feel the same. I don't know. Something in the air. Weather's different. Global warming. It's hotter. The colds are cold. The hots are hot. We went to a sports game recently and spent $20 on 2 bottles of water and a soda. So I don't know. I would rather hear other people's thoughts and opinions on this than sit here and try to spew and lecture. It's just people need to do better. That's all. The world could be very beautiful if everybody worked together and it was one big, giant, happy society. And we didn't have to worry about, the day-to-day overly priced bills and food and healthcare. And we all have one go, and the fact that it's not as peaceful as possible is kind of obnoxious. So I'll leave it there. I will leave it there. You can let me know your thoughts and opinions on this video. And for now, I'll have links and everything in the description box down below. I'll have a playlist up on screen. Stay cute. Stay hydrated. I'll catch you on the next one.